Und nachdem wir jetzt schon sehr weit in die Zukunft geschweift sind, in Richtung Space Tech, wollen wir uns natürlich auch damit beschäftigen, wie wir nachhaltig dorthin kommen. Und einer unserer Festivalpartner ist da ganz vorne mit dabei. Und zwar ist das Ikea und wir haben auch einen wunderbaren Speaker von Ikea hier. Er beschäftigt sich im Konzern eben mit der Nachhaltigkeit der Entwicklung und mit Ideen aus der Circular Economy. Jetzt kenne ich persönlich natürlich genug Leute, die sich bei einer Billy-Aufbauanleitung auch ohne Circular Economy regelmäßig im Kreis drehen, aber ich glaube, das ist nicht genau das, was er damit meint. Aber wir hören es uns am besten von ihm selber an, aus seinem eigenen Mund. Ladies and Gentlemen, mit seinem Talk zum Thema Sustainability, Driver of Innovation and Transformational Change, the Head of Sustainability Innovation von Ikea, Håkan Nordkvist.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. And I'm really honored to be invited by the 15 Seconds Festival to speak here on behalf of IKEA. I will talk to you about sustainability and how sustainability can be a driver of transformational change in a big company, but also in society at large, and what type of impact that can have. To start with, I just want to say some words about IKEA. IKEA is a company that is built on a vision to create a better everyday life for the many people. And it's quite an old vision. Ingvar Kamprad, the founder of the company, stated that in 1976. And it's still very alive in the company. Every strategic decision that is taken goes back to this one. Is it creating a better everyday life for the many people? 5-6 years ago, taking that vision into account, we launched our strategy to 2020. In that work, we also looked into how will the future look like? What will change society? What will change people's behavior? And how will the home look like in 2020? We identified sustainability to be one of the main drivers of change in society, 2020 and beyond. We then launched a sustainability strategy which we called People and Planet Positive Strategy. And it's actually interesting. Most of the sustainability work in many companies is towards decreasing their impact on the planet. We should lower that and we should be better in that. But if you turn that around and you say, I want to have a positive impact on planet, I want to have a positive impact on people, you really need to think different. You need to understand things in a different way, and you need to apply that understanding and the actions that you take in a different way, because you need to have a positive impact, not decrease, a positive impact. This was a change driver for us to start think very differently in how we operate our company and how we can help customers to live more sustainable lives in their homes. On the way then, we also saw, of course, the digitalization trend and what is happening in the world around us. And I think we've heard a lot about data and digitalization until now. And we as a company, we see these two trends, sustainability and digitalization, is the main trends in the world today that is changing society and forming our future right as we speak. So we need to create new values and new experiences in this space. How can we combine the sustainability trend, the common sense trend, with the digital transformation and the speed that provides to us around us in society? So this is the challenge. It's the opportunity. That's where the future of the business lies. Digitalization then brings to us the speed. So the pace of change has never been so fast as it is today, but it will never be as slow again. So the speed is only increasing all the time. And for a big company, speed is a problem because we are big. You tend to be bureaucratic. You have built a lot of councils and stuff for decisions. So how can you actually be speedy and follow the change that is happening around you in the world, outside? So that's where innovation comes in, and how corporate innovation can actually work in a big company. And just to show you some pictures on that, and perhaps some of you have seen this, but I think the truth is you will be disrupted at any point in the time of your corporate life or the company life. Your company will be disrupted. And this is the incremental growth. Most of the big companies are really good at that. You do the same thing every year, over and over again, just a bit better than you did last year. And you grow your company, and this is Ikea's really good at this. We have been having a growth of 5-10% every year since the start of the company. But the world around us looks like this. You have the exponential change outside, and it's quite comfortable to be on the incremental growth line. You know what you do, you know how you can progress, you know how you can be successful, you know how to earn your money. But when the world around you is running faster and you're not pacing up that speed, someday you will come into a problem. So this space here, the period of deceptive disappointment, is a really important space when you work with innovation. Because this is where all the ideas, all the good ideas, dies. This is where corporates just kill most of the good ideas that is out there. And it's not the ideas that is the problem. There are a huge amount of ideas. The problem is, how do you take those ideas and implement them, do something good out of it, and have an impact? Because a good idea is never good until you had an impact with it, until you have created a company, a product, or a service, or a meeting with a customer. So just a couple of examples here. I don't know, 5-6 years ago, there was a guy in California, and you know him, Elon Musk, was talking about electrical cars. Everyone was laughing at him. No one believed that the future would be about electrical cars 6 years ago. Today he stayed there. He stayed in this period of deceptive disappointment. And then today, I think in the Paris Fair last year, there's not one single car manufacturer in the world that does not have electrical program in place. But they're all losers. He's the winner. He stayed there. He's way ahead of all the competitors when it comes to the electrical cars. The next step was the autonomous cars, the self-driving cars. 3 years ago, 2 years ago, everyone was laughing about that. They stay there. Today we see them on the streets. They're already there. It's happening. And you can do example after example. Virtual reality 5 years ago. No one believed that would happen. Who wants to go around with some goggles on their face and see stupid things? Yeah, 4 companies in the world continued that development. They stayed in the deceptive disappointment phase. And today we can see out here, and every fair you go to, there's always a virtual reality booth there. So this is the trick. How do you stay here? How do you actually stay in this period of deceptive disappointment to be able to harvest the disruptive opportunity? Because when you cross that line, if you're not there, you will be the loser. It's really, really hard to catch up with the guys that has been there and know all the problems and built those type of products or from ideas, and then catch up. So I will share some of the examples from Ikea where we have tried to stay in this period of deceptive disappointment, developed products and offers to our customers, and talk a bit about that impact that we believe will lead to a positive impact on people and planet. So in the near future, every home will be a power station. I think this story is really interesting about mankind. We have spent hundreds of years digging into the ground to find energy-dense materials so we can produce energy. And all of that time, the sun has been shining on this planet. And it takes the sun 17 seconds to send in energy to the Earth, which will cover the whole mankind's energy need for one day. 17 seconds. Which means that we have 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 47 seconds of abundance in energy. And still we've been digging down to the ground, finding something that is energy dense, we can do energy. What if we had spent that money and that time on developing solar panels and technologies that can actually transform that energy into something that we could use? Now, after a while, we're still there. So in some markets in the world, the cheapest energy produced is through solar. And it's just accelerating in many, many other markets. We have, from Ikea point of view, looked at that, we have seen it, and we have developed a program on how we can sell solar panels to our customers. We have launched in 4 countries, we have piloted, we have tested, we have learned. Solar is not our core business, but we see that this can have a really good impact and positive impact on the planet and also on people's lives. So a way for us to engage with customers to take charge of their own energy production, renewable energy production, make a good investment. We have an ambition to be the first global home solar or residential solar on the planet, providing solar panels to people to a very affordable price. We have around 800 million visitors to Ikea every year. We have around, out of those, I think we have, don't quote me on the numbers, I think it's 150, 200 million customers. If we can get 1% of them to buy solar and install on their roofs, it will be a huge impact on climate change. We have also committed as a company to be energy independent. So we have started with ourselves, investing in wind farms, investing in solar panels on the rooftops of our stores, and we will be, within a couple of years, producing more renewable energy than what we consume as a company. And it's a good thing to do. It's a good business. It's profitable. And we have hedged the energy prices for the future, so we know exactly what type of energy cost we will have in our operations. And at the same time, we run our operations on renewable energy, which we own ourselves. This is a way for us to engage customers, take the same journey, have a positive impact on the people and the planet, and empower people to produce their own energy. Next one is the LEDs. 5 years ago, we took a decision to only sell LEDs. At that point in time, an LED bulb costed around 20 euro to buy. An incandescent bulb costed 2 euro, something like that. But you know that an LED bulb is 85% more energy efficient than an incandescent bulb. So we said, this is the right thing to do. This is how we can have a positive impact. Let's invest into this business. Let's only sell LEDs, even if it looks like really tough to go from 20 euro to 2 euro to be competitive. So we set up a price target of 4.99 within 2 years, 2.5 years. We invested in the value chain. We went in there together with our suppliers and with partners. We set up a totally new production setup. Invested in new machineries, new assembly lines, actually set up a totally new way of running that industry together with our partners. And in the beginning it was not 4.99, it was hard, but we tried to stay there in the deceptive disappointment phase because we knew if we can come through, it will have a huge impact. we had the goal of 2015, end of 2015, to have 499 for an LED bulb. Today, we sell LEDs for 199. So we are price competitive with any light source out there, and you save 85% or have a 85% more energy efficient light source in your home. If we just assume that every LED light that we have sold is replacing an incandescent bulb, we forecast that we will sell 500 million LED bulbs by 2020. If that happens, the energy saving those LED bulbs will have is greater than the total energy consumption of Sweden as a country, which has some impact on the climate change and on people's cost in their lives, in their homes. Again, it's an attempt from our side to engage customers in an important issue like climate change, and at the same time save some money. So you can now at Ikea produce your own energy, you can save energy by your light sources. The last example is circular economy. And what is that then? It's a way of developing the economy we have today. It's a way of actually utilizing resources in a much better way than what we do. Today we dig them up, we use them, and we throw them away. It's a total useless way of using resources that we use. So this way is how can we utilize resources in a much more efficient way? How can we utilize the resources already existing in society? And how can we make business out of that? And to go into this deceptive disappointment phase again, we stepped in 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. We went into an innovation platform which is called Launch, which is originally founded by Nike and NASA, US State Department and USAID. And we founded our own one based on their principles in the Nordics, so Launch Nordic, focus on circular economy. And we create then challenges around circular economy, the different parts of the value chain around circular economy. We've been doing that now for 3 years, and we launched our last challenge Monday this week in the World Circular Economy Forum in Helsinki. And Ikea's role then is to be a part of that, drive that change, be a part of changing the economy around us, not only in our company, but in society at large, so that we stop wasting resources as we do today and have a more sensible way of looking at it, to empowering innovators, startups to step forward and then actually scale their innovations. So our role is to integrate them in our value chain, coach them into how to build their company, connect them to our suppliers, connect them to investors, or even invest in them ourselves, just to create this ecosystem of new ideas, innovators, technologies that can actually lead in the end to a change in society. And together with other companies like Nike or eBay or Novozymes, H&M, we are creating this ecosystem of big companies that can support startups through this platform, and in the end land in a circular economy where we are much more efficient in using the resources in society and on this planet. So, instead of thinking outside the box, it's time to get rid of the box, because the sustainability and digitalization trends together is changing society in a pace that we have never seen before. And the ones realizing that and seeing the change and seeing the pace of change has a really tremendous business opportunity ahead of them. We're trying to be one of those, to be a small but still significant player in changing society and life at home, and how we can improve people's way of living a more sustainable life at home in an affordable way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Håkan, for being here. And I'm sure there are lots of questions. People need not worry that you're getting rid of the boxes right away at every IKEA store tomorrow, are they?
No, not yet.
Not yet, but you're on your way there. And on and along that way, we'll take a couple of questions from the audience. Well, you seem to have covered everything. They're all satisfied. They know everything they want to know. No hands shooting up in the air. Over there.
Yeah. Does it work? Yeah. I wanted to ask, when do you start to
I don't see you.
I'm here.
Where?
I'm sorry. When do you
back.
start to sell
back
solar panels in Austria?
That's a very good question. We're in, as I said, we started in 4 countries, and we now have a rollout plan for many, many more countries. Currently, IKEA is in 28 countries, I think. So there is a rollout plan. IKEA Austria hasn't taken a decision yet on when to introduce this offer, and I hope it will happen quite soon. But they're definitely in the rollout plan that we have ahead of us.
Okay, there was another question back there. Yeah, in the middle. Oh, mic runner is currently running in the other direction, but there's one at the back there.
Yeah, is it me?
Yes,
Okay.
it's you.
Again. First of all, thank you for the great talk. I think it's wonderful that a big company like IKEA is taking sustainability so seriously. I have one question. When you were talking about you wanted to bring down the price for those LEDs, it came to my mind, how are those things produced? It's not only what impact those LEDs or solar panels have on a positive side, but how are they produced? Is there something you take into consideration as well?
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, we want to have a positive impact on people and the planet. So people are super important for us, and we are running a code of conduct program, which we called iWay, IKEA Way of Purchasing Products, which is looking into all the working conditions and everything that is connected to creating a good workplace for everyone working in the IKEA supply chain. We've been working with that for the last 17 years, and it's one of the key cornerstones in if you can be a supplier to IKEA or not, that you fulfill that program. We've been for the last 4 or 5 years having more or less 100% fulfillment of that program.
Anybody who's ever dealt with sustainability issues know that it's always very complex to find a decision. So I guess, especially for a huge company, it must be quite a challenging task to take all the sides into consideration.
I mean, sustainability is a complex issue, but you can also make it very simple. It's good for business, and it's good to do good business. And I think for me, especially, and for IKEA, there's a huge commitment from the management on driving the company in a sustainable way. And as I said, 5-6 years ago, when we took the decision, we realized if we are not seen as a sustainable company 2020 and beyond, we will not exist. It's both a survival and an opportunity-based issue.
So, because there is this perception of IKEA in the traditional way that the furniture is not really meant to be taken down and reassembled 15 times in its life circle, so it's quite a big step to take.
I don't know where that perception comes from, but I really like that. We can see, without IKEA being very much involved in it, in many countries, the second-hand market is developing, and you can see IKEA products have a second life, third life, fourth life, through being facilitated through these platforms that exist now. And it also shows that the product can actually be reused many times.
Thanks for that. Some more questions? Yep.
Hi. I think that the question before was, what is the impact? I'm here.
Sorry.
What's the impact on the production side of the solar panels and so on the climatic change and sustainability, and not the usage of it. So I guess that the negative impact on the planet coming out of producing solar panels and LEDs is what the question was before.
Okay.
This is
quite
interesting topic, I guess.
So it's a lot of dimensions into that. But if you look at the solar panel, the energy payback time of a solar panel is around, depending on what type of technology you use, it's around 1.5 years. So the energy it takes to produce it, you're getting back from the production of the panel in 1.5 years. And then I'm not really into exactly what every component in a solar panel is, but according to our studies, it's a healthy business from a sustainability point of view.
Another question over there.
Okay, hello.
Hi.
One short question. Does Ikea have a plan to up and recycle old furniture? Like H&M does it now, that you can spend your old jeans and recycle it to new ones?
Yes, that's a part of the circular economy thing. I think in Austria today we take back mattresses and we take back sofas. We have in other countries, we take back textiles, we're taking back furniture, and with different types of systems. We're in a testing phase where we want to develop the absolutely best way. Either you come back with your stuff to Ikea, we take care of it, or we arrange a way where we can actually get it back by going home to you. So we're testing different systems and different types of services to connect that circular economy thinking in real actions. So we haven't rolled out the full program yet, but we're in this pilot and testing phase in many different countries.
One more question over there.
LED light bulbs last way longer than normal ones. So how did your sales develop since the time that you only sell LED light bulbs? And how do you justify such a decision?
It's a very interesting question. We have actually sold more now, even if they last longer. So an LED light normally lasts for 20 years, but our sales has just been increasing, which is positive because it confirms the decision we took. I won't say that was a super easy decision to take. It was a lot of analysis and a lot of discussions in the management board of Ikea on if we should take the decision or not. Finally, you have to go with your gut feeling. If you don't have all the facts on the table, so finally the decision was actually taken by the management board of Ikea saying, we don't know everything, but this is the right decision to take. This is good for business, this is good for the brand, it's good for the customers, so let's do whatever we can to make it a success. And sometimes you take those decisions, not very often, but this time it turned out to be a very good one. And if you see the impact now, it's tremendous, and we're actually very proud of that decision in the end.
We're being disrupted quite a bit by the people jumping into the IKEA ball pit out there, but
I envy them.
yeah, so do I, but we'll get to that afterwards.
Hi. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yeah.
What is your point of view on consumption in general? Like, when I go shopping to IKEA, I always come out with more stuff than I actually needed. So did you ever reflect on that and like pushing less products into the market and just making people just buy the stuff they actually need?
That's a very good question. I always get that one. The circular economy thinking is an answer on that question. If you look at the world, how it looks like today, the Western world, I mean, we're consuming a lot, but we have sort of reached a peak of consumption almost. But if you look at the developing world, China and India and countries like that, they're on their way up. They're consuming, and they will continue to consume. What we can do as a company is, of course, to use resources more efficient and also reuse the resources that is already there. So if you have a sustainable way of using your resources, reusing them, taking back material, reproducing those materials into new products, so we don't have a negative impact on the planet. We don't have to dig up new things. We don't have to cut down things to produce products. That is a more sustainable way of running a business without pointing fingers at people that you can't shop or you shouldn't do that. But actually for us it's becoming a more sustainable company and helping people to live more sustainable lives.
Well, what we can see all day long around the fairground and the exhibition is that it makes for a nice atmosphere having IKEA furniture around.
Yes, it's nice, huh?
Yeah. My apartment's another proof fact. And is there any more questions? Yes, one over there.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question. When it comes to sustainability, there are mainly ecological impacts mostly. What about the social aspects of sustainability? I'm just wondering if IKEA has like any, I don't know, diversity management programs, if it comes to the employees itself or to the customers who are actually buying the things.
Yeah, definitely. We have. I choose those two areas to talk about them today, because climate change is a very important topic, and we're in a phase right now where it's even more important to state the importance of climate change. But the social dimension of sustainability is equally important. And we have a diversity program in IKEA, and we see or equality program, I would say. It's not only about diversity, it's also equality in all aspects. We have 48% of all managers in IKEA is women, so we're almost there. We have this program I talked about earlier on, together with our suppliers on IWay, the code of conduct, and securing good workplaces in every aspect of our supply chain. We have an Ikea Foundation, which is the philanthropic arm of IKEA, where we donate close to 200 million euros every year to the benefit of children. And the overall tagline is to create a good start in life. So it goes to children and create a good start in life for them, and women, because women is really important for children and creating good start in lives there. So focus a lot on countries where we have supply chain, like in India and Southeast Asia, South Asia. Yeah, there are a couple of examples on the social aspect. We have, of course, program locally where we engage in communities and doing stuff with local communities too.
Well, and as all of our speakers, Håkan will be around and available for a little chat after that. We can take one more question back there.
Hi there. Thanks of all first for the interesting keynote. I've got one question. It's all cool with those solar stuff and the new LED bulbs, but do you have any plans to reduce the plastic wrapping? Because that's quite a big issue, and if big brands like IKEA would work on that, that would be a great impact as well. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good one. We actually have. We are reducing plastic wrapping. We are reducing packaging overall. But what we have also done with plastic is we have a goal that every plastic product or every plastic in IKEA by 2020 should either be recycled or come from a renewable source. So we did quite a big program a couple of years ago where we identified, we engaged quite a lot in the plastic industry, in the chemical industry, to see how can we produce plastic from renewable sources and not go the fossil-based plastic way. And out came, it's a really interesting project, but out came that we have invested in different ways in this plastic industry. So now we're creating production capacities for IKEA around. In a couple of years, we will have created new capacity of 350,000 tons of plastic, all produced from renewable sources, which is then also biodegradable. So you can steer the properties of those plastics in a totally different way than you do with fossil-based plastic. So if it's connected to packaging, it will be biodegradable, and you will then even if you have it, you could put it in the garden or in a place where it can degrade, and it will be gone in a couple of weeks. So both working on decreasing the plastic, but then when we need plastic, it should be from a renewable source, and it should be possible to degrade it.
Well, thank you very much for taking some of our questions, and we hope you'll enjoy your stay around here. You know your way around, and have fun enjoying 15 seconds.
I will.
It takes 17 seconds for the solar energy to power the Earth for a year, and 15 seconds to power Graz for 2 days. So thanks for being here, and a big round of applause for Håkan Nordkvist.
Thank you.